improve it through body language and other ways of communicating with your dog, and some ways to start teaching heel if you've never done that before. So if that is something that you think will help you out, this is the video for you, and I'll get right into it. So when you first start teaching heel, I really recommend using a short leash or using a leash that doesn't allow your dog's full body to get in front of you or behind you, because the first step to teaching heel, in my opinion, is setting that boundary of picking which side you want your dog to walk on and keeping your dog on that side. So your dog shouldn't be doing any zigzagging, and just because your leash has a handle doesn't mean you have to be holding the handle there. You can ball it up and hold onto it so that it's literally this short, because that's the first step, is kind of setting that routine of your dog doesn't have free reign of the whole entire leash. So I'm not going to ask her to heel, so I can kind of demonstrate what that looks like. So Emma, free, go free. See how I'm keeping the leash short enough where even when she does go free, she's not getting her whole body in front, and she's walking really nicely for me, because the only time I really have her on a leash is when we're heeling. But I'm not asking her to do that. The second phase would be, once your dog kind of has that boundary set of where it understands that you're walking on the same side, you only get so much leash room, then start saying heel and use that treat to work. Because ideally, what you'll do is you'll slowly move your hand to here, and then this will be kind of a hand signal for your dog, and you can still hold treats in this hand like this and say heel, heel. And then reward with that hand still. So your dog still associates the hand being here as treats, but it turns into a hand signal. So you can walk and just keep your hand here. And that's kind of saying, I want you to heel right now. And when you say free, then make sure your hand doesn't stay in that position anymore. So you're communicating with your dog that, no, you don't have to do it right now, you can do what you want. And that's something I also recommend when you're going for walks. I always recommend heeling sometimes, but then letting your dog do its own thing sometimes as well, and just kind of doing like a 50-50 of that. Because heeling is a lot of thinking for a dog, and also when you're going for a walk with your dog, personally for me, I don't want it to be training the entire time. I want to just hang out too. So even if you start off your walk with the heel, and then when you reach an intersection, then go, all right, this block you're free, unless your dog is being naughty, then take away those loose leash privileges. And then when your dog is walking really nicely, yes, good girl, yes. Then you can maybe say free, go free, and your dog can go do their own thing again. So another thing I would really recommend is, obviously when you're teaching heel, you're gonna have to be something of a treat dispenser. So I recommend using string cheese or hot dog, something you can just keep on feeding more and more of as the dog chews on the treat. That way you don't lose your fingers. And also that way your dog is literally constantly being rewarded for being at your side. And that's something, as your dog gets more and more used to it, then you'll do less and less of it. So always make sure when your dog is giving you what you want, you either use a good or yes, a reward word for your dog giving you a desired behavior, and then a treat afterwards. So even when you're saying, Emma, lay down, yes, good, lay down, and then she gets a treat after I say yes. Because then that way she'll start associating the word yes with treats. So when I say Emma, heel, yes, good heel, yes, good heel, yes, very nice, good girl. Every time I say yes, she knows, oh, there's a treat coming my way. And it's not something that she really needs to be rewarded for every single time, because it's like a little bit of a treat for herself. Every time she hears yes, she knows there's a treat, she knows she's getting a treat, she associates that word with treats, and it's still a reward for her. Obviously, all different breeds are different, so if you have a guardian dog or one with a low work drive, yes might just be not enough. But even then, still do your best to see if you can get yes to be a reward word for your dog, and do your best to not constantly give your dogs treats either, because then they might only work for treats. So So that's where keeping treats in your pockets, just holding on to treats, and not always using a treat bag when you're training is a really good idea. So that way your dog doesn't associate, oh, there's a treat bag, I'm getting treats. Oh, there's no treat bag, I'm not getting treats. So make sure you kind of keep that in mind as well. Obviously, still use a treat bag, but don't make that be the majority of times your dog gets treats. So then if your dog has a pretty good heel and knows it pretty well, some things you can do to improve it is having eye contact. I do my best to have my dog watch me. So when I'm heeling and she looks at me, that's when she gets a yes now, because she can heel at my side no problem, but I want her attention on me when I'm having her heel. So that way I know when I'm turning, she's watching me and she can follow my body language. So something I might say, Emma Guinness, to really improve your body language is communicate with your dog. So even if you're competing, you can say, Emma, are you ready? Yes, good girl. Are you ready? And then when the judge, asks, are you ready? You can say yes. And when the judge says word, you can say heel. And I leave with the foot next to my dog. Watch. Yes. So that's something when you're going for a walk, really see if you can set that habit of when you want your dog to walk with you, you leave with the foot next to your dog. And when you want your dog to stay, you leave with the foot away from your dog. This is just some body language that helps communicate with your dog that what's going on, outside of just saying, okay, we're heeling now. Because even if you don't want to compete, the more you can communicate with your dog, the better. So say you're turning. When you're turning, you should look over your shoulder a few steps before you turn with your dog, and then communicate with your leash if your dog isn't really watching. So I'm going to do an about turn. Emma, are you ready? Heel. And that one was okay. So this time I might give her some leash bumps, just to encourage her. And that one was pretty nice in my opinion. Very nice. Good. And even if you're just doing 90-degree turns, so look over your shoulder. Look over my shoulder. Heel. Yes. And then if you want to turn in the other direction where you're turning into your dog, I have a backup command. So I go like this and communicate with my dog to let him know I'm turning into them. So that way I'm not bumping into him like surprise. So, yes. Very nice, good girl. So those are some things you can communicate with your dog and just use to help you with your heel. Obviously, I still have a ways to go with heeling because I hurt my ankle. So when I do classes for perfecting my heeling for competitions, it's like a dance, and I can't do that dance very well. However, I'm still doing my best to set my dog up for success, even though I still have a lot to learn footwork-wise myself. And I will say it's a lot to think about, like a competition heel. However, for just, daily life, the more you can communicate with your dog through words too, the better. Because you can literally talk to your dog and go, Emma, heel, come on, Emma. Oh, what a good girl. Yay, what a good girl. Watch me. Yes, good girl. Yes, good girl. And who cares if you're talking to your dog the entire time, because it's not a competition. But if you do want to compete with your dog, do your best to kind of practice heeling without speaking if you can, and just see how your dog does. Obviously, if your dog is off in La La Land, communicate with them, but really make sure that you feel like your dog is ready heel-wise, with distractions, with being around people, before you just throw them into a competition. Because even a beginner competition, there's off-leash heeling and on-leash heeling. So just focus on that as well. And for me, my dog actually, in my opinion, heels better off-leash, because dogs can't feel emotions through the leash if there is no leash. So also another thing to focus on too is making sure that you, as the owner and the handler and the trainer, stay calm. Even if you see something where it's like, ooh, there's a dog coming our way, just do your best to stay calm, have your dog get in, wait, and put yourself in between that dog that's coming after you and your dog. If your dog is little enough like mine, I would just go, good girl, pick her up, and use my foot to keep the dog away. But obviously, if you have a bigger dog, that's difficult to do. But just do your best to stay calm in stressful situations, because the more calm you stay, the more calm your dog will stay. But anyways, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! And